Okay, so now we're going to go over some examples of the K-test. And so here I have prepared already a small piece of Lobelia pulmonaria, and I made sure to expose the medulla, that's that white edge along there next to the cortex, because this lichen has stictic acid, and with stictic acid you would expect the medulla to react with the K reagent and turn yellow. And so let's just go ahead and do that. And so what you'll want to do is just take your dropper, put a little spot of K next to your specimen, and then with tweezers you can just dip your specimen into the K and make sure it gets nice and on there, and then set it aside. And now just wait a little bit as it's taken up. And so again, some of these tests, it does demand some patience because it can take a little bit for the dry lichen to suck up that substance and then react. But we are already seeing just along the edge there in the medulla a yellow reaction. So this tells us that this is a K plus yellow because of the presence of stictic acid. Okay, and so then we can look at another specimen and do another K test. And so now we're going to, I've just got another little piece of paper here. Just using pieces of paper just makes it easy for cleanup. I'm going to take off a small piece of physia, and so you can see here it's a little bit, there we go. So this kind of lighter colored lichen right here. I'm going to take off a few small pieces of that and place that on the piece of paper. You can really see those cilia sticking out, characteristic of physia. And then we're going to do the K-test. And so in this case now it's the cortex that should react. And this is because of the presence of the substance called atranorin. And so again, we're just going to follow the same method. I usually hold the paper down because it can stick to the dropper. And I'll get my drop of K. Oh no, it fell over. That's okay. Maybe do it again. Getting to be a lot now. And then just make sure that kind of mush your lichen in there. I usually take it out just because if there's too much of the reagent and it's a subtle change, then it can kind of wash away the color change. But in this case, we can see that there was a brief yellow color change. I do find that after, especially with the K reaction, if you wait too long, essentially it just starts to degrade the lichen because KOH is a base, and so it's basically eating away, or kind of degrading, just degrading the lichen. And so eventually the color will change. I'd say again it's kind of getting more muted now to orange, and that's just because it's just kind of starting to break down the lichen. And so with K, you want to wait for the lichen to take up the reagent, but you don't want to wait too long. So definitely with a lot of these, as soon as you add that substance on there, you want to watch it through time to make sure that you catch anything. So now the yellow is not quite as obvious. Sometimes it can be helpful to compare it though to the original dry lichen itself. And so, if we're looking at the dry specimen there compared to that, it is more yellow. And so that would be a K plus yellow reaction. Okay, so now we can go ahead and do another one. And this time we're going to test a nitrophilus lichen, and we're going to see if we get a K plus purple reaction. And if it is K plus purple, that means that there is present the substance called perietin. Here, I'll just show you. So there's our orange nitrophilus lichen that we're going to test. If it's K negative, that tells us that perietin isn't present and it's actually a different genus, and that would be Candelaria. You can kind of get a feel for those two genera in the field without the K test, but it can be hard sometimes. Usually Candelaria, though, isn't quite as orange as this, has kind of more of a lime green color, so I suspect that this is either Xanthoria or Xantho Mendoza, but let's just go ahead and test it. And so again now, I'm going to put my little piece of paper there. I'm going to break off a piece of my lichen and put it on there. And then I'm going to get my dropper with K. And whoops, that's always the problem with working with such small things, is you lose them easily. They drop off. So I'm just going to flip this over so that we see the nice orange top. I'm going to try to anyways. Come on. There we go. Okay. So now again, I add my K right there, and I'm going to ooh, look at that. Wow. That was a fast. See, I can just mush it in now. Look at that color change. This is one of my favorites. It's just so, I really love these really obvious colorful ones. So that is a definite K plus P for purple reaction. So this is definitely either the genus Xanthoria or Xantho Mendoza. Okay, so let's do the K test on a specimen of Hypogymnia inactiva. We're looking for a K plus yellow reaction in the cortex. So I'm just going to again do a little drop of K, take my specimen and drop it on there and take it out, and then observe any color change. And so we can already see, if I can flip it that way, a clear yellow color change in that top portion of the thallus. So this tells you that a tranurine is present on that K plus yellow reaction.